Today, we're diving headfirst, literally, into one of the strangest, most destructive toy lines of the 90s, the Incredible Crash Dummies. These weren't your average action figures. No lasers, no swords, no mutant turtles, nope. Their whole gimmick was smashing into walls, cars, and basically anything you could throw them at. Buckle up because this is one toy line that was destined for a wreck. Believe it or not, Crash Dummies started out not as toys, but as public service mascots. In the late 1980s, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration launched a campaign with Vincent Larry.
Hey, thanks to these airbags here, this job is now a piece of cake, lad.
But then...
Yeah, I'll tell you something, partner. I just might stick around a few more years.
But then...
No more dashboard du jour or Vince under glass, huh?
But then... Look out! Even with airbags...
The crash test dummies who reminded kids to buckle your safety belt. These commercials were everywhere in the early 90s. Mattel, being the geniuses they are, looked at these public safety mascots and thought, you know what kids want? Action figures that literally break apart. And so, in 1991, the Incredible Crash Dummies toy line was born. These figures were wild. Each dummy had spring-loaded parts, arms, legs, and heads that popped off dramatically when you crashed them. Push their belly button or slam them into a wall, and boom, the figure exploded into a pile of limbs. Some of the big names in the lineup were Slick and Spin, the heroic dummies, along with their friends Splice, Axel, and Gyro. And of course, they faced off against villains like the evil Junkman, who wanted to stop seatbelt safety, because apparently that's a thing. But the real fun wasn't just the figures, it was the vehicles. The crash cars were designed to fall apart on impact, doors flying off, wheels rolling across the floor. There was even a crash plane, a crash cycle, and the iconic Crash Test Center playset, which let kids launch their dummies into total mayhem. It was pure plastic carnage. Here are some fun facts you might not know about Crash Dummies. First toy line from a PSA. This was the first toy line ever created based on a public service campaign. Mattel basically turned a government safety ad into a multi-million-dollar toy franchise. The cartoon. Yep, they had a TV special. In 1993, Fox aired the Incredible Crash Dummies animated special. It was supposed to launch a full series, but it flopped harder than a dummy hitting a brick wall. Controversy. Some parents weren't thrilled. A few safety groups argued that turning crash test dummies into toys sent mixed signals, like, were kids supposed to think car crashes were fun? Mattel countered that the toys actually promoted seatbelt use. Video games. Believe it or not, Crash Dummies even got their own video game. Titles appeared on NES, SNES, Game Boy, and Sega Genesis. Spoiler, they weren't exactly Mario-level classics, but the novelty was there. Collectibility. Today, sealed Crash Dummies toys fetch decent money. A mint-in-box Crash Test Center can go for a few $100 on eBay, making them a weird but valuable slice of 90s toy history. So, what happened? Well, like most 90s toy fads, Crash Dummies burned bright and fast. By 1994, the line had lost steam. The characters were too weird to compete with Power Rangers, Turtles, and X-Men. Still, they left their mark. The toy line was proof that with a little creativity, you could turn anything into a toy, even public safety mascots. And let's be real, kids love smashing those figures into oblivion. They weren't teaching us road safety as much as they were showing us how far we could launch a torso across the living room. But here's a twist you might not remember. Crash Dummies actually made a comeback in 2003. That's right, over a decade after their 90s heyday, Mattel relaunched the line with new figures, vehicles, and even a whole updated storyline. These dummies looked more modern with sleeker designs and fresh gimmicks, but the core idea was the same: smash them, crash them, and watch the pieces fly. So, did it work? Sadly, not really. The 2003 line didn't capture the same magic. Kids were into Beyblades, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and video games by then, and the slapstick destruction gimmick just felt dated. The revival fizzled out after about a year, making it a second crash for the franchise. Today, those 2003 sets are obscure collector items, but they definitely don't carry the same nostalgic weight as the original 90s toys. The Incredible Crash Dummies were one of the strangest, most destructive toy lines of the 90s, and while they didn't last long, they're still remembered by collectors and kids of that era. Whether you see them as a clever way to promote safety or just as pure destructive fun, one thing's for sure, no other toy line literally fell apart like this one. So did you have any Crash Dummies growing up? Did you launch Slick into the wall a few too many times? Drop a comment below and let's trade crash test war stories. And if you want more deep dives into retro toys and 3D design culture, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll keep digging up these forgotten gems. Until next time, buckle up.